Hey, Brian Monnier. I want to share with you today the secret to finally getting better results from your yoga practice. Now, after 20 years, the largest mistake that I see people make when they come in and start doing yoga is that they don't set a proper intention. Now, what do I mean by that? So, in order for you to carry through the times when your practice is going to be tough, when motivation wanes, when you inevitably get to a point in whatever exercise your routine that you're working at, you are going to hit these points where like you're tired, work sucks, stuff comes up, and you falter a little bit during your schedule, right? And then it takes you a really, really long time, if you do ever, to get back on your health routine, right? And I call it the health hamster wheel, because you kind of start, you stop, you start, you start, you start, you stop, and you never kind of get like a good like upswing going. Now, there is a very simple way to avoid this, and it's by just setting a simple intention of why you are starting whatever you're starting. So if you're starting a yoga practice, what are your intentions on getting started? What is motivating you to begin a practice, to begin to use yoga to heal yourself, to get the medicine that it offers, and to do the work required, because it does take work, right? By just finding out your big why, by finding out the deeper reason why you're stepping up into a studio, it will carry you through like some of the bad times when you're not so motivated, when you need help, when when you're 3 weeks haven't been to class, and you know you need to go. And there's that instance in your brain that says, I'm going to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and binge for the next 2 weeks because this show is great and they got 22 episodes of it for some reason. Or, you know what, I'm going to get up off the couch, I'm going to grab my mat, I'm going to grab my gear, and I'm going to go to class. Those are the instances that we're talking about where setting intention makes a big difference. Now, for instance, myself, it was my grandmother. My grandmother on my mom's side was a horrible diabetic. She never took care of the disease. She, by the end of her life, lost her sight, lost one of her limbs, most of her internal organs. And just watching her go through the experience of very advanced diabetes was a horrible thing to watch, though, especially the last 10 years of her life. She was so sick. And to me, what was influential about that is that when I started learning about the disease, and I actually have it on my father's side, my grandfather on my dad's side was also diabetic, who regulated it with exercise and diet. The experience of watching them both in their elder lives, where my grandfather was more vital, he definitely didn't, he drank a lot of water, he ate right. He wasn't super spry, but he was, vital. He wasn't as sick as my grandmother was. So to see the difference in that, and then to have the experience of listening to my grandmother's doctor after her third heart attack, when we're all in the hospital wondering if she's going to pass away, and him looking at us and just saying, this should be a lesson to you all. All you need to do is eat well, don't eat junk food, and exercise correctly. That's been a motivating factor for me since my teenage years. So I've always tried to maintain some kind of discipline in my health, first with martial arts. I was really attracted to the art, still am. Next, it became yoga, which was much more of a health and healing journey. Martial arts was great. It was a great workout. It taught me how to fight. It taught me discipline. Taught me how to really stick with something for a long time. And with yoga, the journey has become much more internal, much more personal. But I wouldn't have gotten there by not having a big reason to be there. You've got to do more than I want to try a little yoga. Right? If you're on the want to try it out aspect, if that's where you're at, great. I appreciate that. I've had tons of students kind of start with that, and then eventually, after a long period of up and down, they develop a sustainable practice because they get the tools that they need. We show it to them, right? But more often than not, the people who are just trying it out they never last. They come to one class, maybe two, and then you see them 6 months down the road. They try again, and we try to get them to set an intention. They just don't really want to do it. They don't want to dig deeper, and then they're on the health hamster wheel. You just don't get results that way. Now, there is one more element of this. There is another component to success with your yoga practice, and actually two of them. And that's one. The next one is you got to give it time and consistency, focused effort. The changes that you're seeking are not going to happen in a month. You aren't suddenly going to lose 45 pounds. You aren't suddenly going to lose your chronic pain that you've been suffering with for years. You will get a little bit better. You'll lose a little bit of weight, but in 30 days, you're not going to get a miracle. Just not. Some people do. They are the exception to the norm, but you've got to give it like a year. Not 6 months, a year. 6 months, you're just kind of getting to the point where, and that's no matter what exercise routine you do. CrossFit, boot camp, yoga, martial arts, weightlifting, cardio, whatever it is, you got to give it that amount of time, and it's got to be consistent. There's always going to be kind of ups and downs in the road, but consistency trumps intensity, right? 3 to 5 times a week, done consistently over a long period of time, way better than 1 to 2 months of intense workouts. That's just how it works. The next part is you're probably going to need a teacher. You're going to need somebody who knows more than you, who's been down the road, who's guided people down the road. And whoever that is that you choose, you got to stick with them. You got to stay with them for a while. 6 months minimum. 1 year more than likely. Because you can't do it on your own. You just can't. We all need teachers and guides and mentors and healers. And the sooner that you find somebody, the sooner that you will get the results that you're seeking. So set your intention, prepare to do a lot of it, and get a teacher. Those are the 3 ways that you can dramatically increase your results from yoga practice.